Good afternoon, Artmates! Welcome to my class at ngayong hapon ay pag-uusapan nating lahat ang isa sa pinakamakabuluhang performance art, and that is literature. Now, what comes into your mind when you hear the word literature? So based on the definition, literature is taken from the Latin term or Latin word litera, which means acquaintance with letters. So ibig sabihin, any form of productions that has something to do with letters, words, characters, and symbols that is automatically a product of literature. And we have these two types of literature, the prose and the poetry. Anong pinagkaiba ng dalawa? Sa prose, ilan sa mga halimbawa ay ang news articles, orations, declamations, and any form of written compositions that do not follow any measurement. Walang rhyme, walang rhythm, or walang kapareho ng vowel sounds. Pero pag sinabing poetry, it follows a particular measurement in every line. Maaring may kapareho ng vowel sounds within the line or pwedeng nasa huling salita ng bawat linya. Laging sinasabi that prose is more serious than poetry since prose could be expressed through a common flow of language. Unlike poetry, it requires intense emotion and expression to make it more effective. And now let's have the three elements of the poetry. We have a sense of the poem, sound of a poem, and structure of the poem. Let's start with the sense of the poem. Under that, we have connotation versus denotation, we have imagery, and we have figurative language. So bakit siya gamit? Bakit nailagay ang denotation versus connotations? Sometimes if you're a good writer, you have the techniques, it gives effect to your written compositions. Denotation is the meaning of the word from the dictionary, and connotation is the word beyond the dictionary meaning. Halimbawa, when you are trying to emphasize the word love in your composition, if you find that in the dictionary, that means the intense, deep feeling of affection. But when you use that in literary compositions with the use of connotation, you may use love is a magic, love is sacrifice. That gives effect to your composition. Imagery is also given. If you could imagine, if you could notice, good writers, effective writers could make you think or imagine the situations in your mind. I mean, when you try to read the good books or written compositions of the good writers, you are drawing pictures in your mind. And that is what you call as the imagery. Kahit nagbabasa ka lang, it seems like your five senses is being touched upon reading that story or that written compositions. Next, we have the figurative language. Bakit siya gamit? Napakahalaga ng figurative language, especially using simile, hyperbole, oxymoron. Those are the examples of figures of speech. Sometimes, imbis na gamitin mo sa napakasimpleng salita or phrase, you can make use of the figurative language para mas mailagay sa ibang level. And it gives effect to your composition. And now we have a sound of a poem. We have alliteration, assonance, consonance, and rhyme. What is alliteration? Good example is, Peter Piper picked a piece of pickled pepper. What makes it alliteration? Correct. If you could notice, halos lahat ng salita sa isang linya ay nagsisimula sa letter P. And that is alliteration because when you say alliteration, there is repetition of same sounds at the beginning of every word. Same example, we have, she sells seashells by the seashore. The same. If you could notice, all the words starts with letter S, and that's what makes it alliteration. Next, we have assonance. Good example is, the rat ran after the cat. What makes it assonance? Correct. Kung mapapansin nyo, lahat ng simula, lahat ng salita sa isang linya ay pare-pareho ng vowel sounds with the letter A. The rat ran after the cat. Because when you say assonance, there are similar vowel sounds in one line, in every word. That is assonance. And the third one is consonance. The good example is, the string and the ring was strong. What makes it consonance? Correct. Because three words in one same line almost have the same letters that ends with I or N and G. So meaning, pag sinabing consonants, there is a repetition of Consonant sounds spreading within or at the end of the words. Consonants. Lastly, we have rhyme. So pag sinabi natin rhyme, there is the same vowel sounds that is being repeated. And we have two types of rhyme, internal and terminal rhyme. Pag sinabing internal rhyme, pag pinakikinggan mo ang isang tula, there are more than two words in one line that has the same vowel sounds. Pag sinabi namang terminal rhyme, you would hear different or the same vowel sounds at the last word in every line. Terminal and internal rhyme. And the third element, we have the structure of a poem. We have words and its order, syntax, ellipsis, and punctuation. First is word and its order. So in this category, or should I say part of the element, sometimes being redundant is, okay, if that is actually your intention to give effect to your composition. So halimbawa, you are using an expression in the first part of the paragraph, and in the second, third, and fourth paragraphs, you are still using that. So it's okay if you think that is it has a contribution to give your composition desired effect. The second one is syntax. So this is commonly used in poem or pagsusulat ng mga tula. So syntax is an effect where you are trying to fracture or to divide one sentence into two. So based on the example I have given in your handout, meron yung, I think I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree. So isang linya lang yan sa isang tula. But when you use syntax, hinati mo na siya. I think that I shall never see, cut, tapos nilagay mo na sa pangalawang linya, a poem as lovely as a tree. That is syntax. And the third one is ellipsis. I think we all are familiar to this. So minsan pag may salita, sa last part ng statement natin na hindi na tinatapos, you'll just end with three dots, dot, 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 ellipsis. The last one is punctuations. This is using meaningful symbols that gives emotion to your composition. Question marks, exclamation, comma, or period. Punctuation. And let's now come to the different types of poetry. We have the narrative, the lyric, and the dramatic poetry. If you are telling a story or you're trying to narrate what is going on to a particular situation in a story, then what you're doing is narration. That is an example of a narrative poetry. And the second one, we have the lyric poetry. All the written compositions intended to be sung, that is an example. Those are examples of lyric poetry. And the last one is the dramatic poetry. Pag sinabing dramatic poetry, these are compositions that are made in dialogue, may sagutan, and that is intended to be performed on stage with the audience in theaters. And now we have drama. Drama is a composition in prose that presents a story in dialogue. Dati or karamihan pag sinabing drama, iniisip nila laging iyakan, may sampalan, heavy emotions. But actually, it's not. In literary arts, pag sinabing drama, it may also it offers different emotions. Pwede siyang comedy, pwedeng tragedy, pwedeng horror, or pwede siyang action. Because drama means a composition with a story in dialogue. Hindi siya ibig sabihin na puro iyakan lang. That's drama. And we have different elements of the drama. Settings, characters, the plot, and the theme. First element of the drama is the setting. So this tells the time, the place, where, and when the story is happening. And the second one is the character. So if it is a film or a stage play, the characters are the role na gagampanan ng mga artista or ng mga theater actors and actresses in the story. And the third one is plot. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng plot? So pag sinabing plot, this is the sequence of events happening in the story. Ito yung pagkakasunod-sunod na nangyayari sa kwento mo mula sa exposition hanggang sa ending. That is plot. And we have two types of plot. The natural plot and the episodic plot. Pag sinabing natural plot, those are the kind of drama or like movie or film or book stories na matatapos mo like in just 1 hour, or there is one exposition to the ending, agad may conclusion. Pag sinabing episodic plot, hindi mo siya matatapos sa isang Tingnan lang, it will not be finished in just 1 hour or one scenario kasi hinahati siya sa iba't ibang kabanata. From episode 1, episode 16, episode 41, ganon. Like yung mga napapanood nyo sa mga Korean series na episodic, those are the examples of episodic plot. And now we have the fourth element of drama, we have the theme, and the fifth one is style. Pag sinabing theme, kumbaga sa pelikula, this is what you call as the genre. So for example, the theme of your story is rom-com or romantic comedy. So from the beginning or the exposition up to the ending of the story would run as rom-com or romantic comedy. Kumbaga sa pelikula, this is the genre of the story you are playing. And the next one is the style. So yung style, dito na pumapasok. If it's a film or it's a stage play, dito pumapasok yung idea ng isang direktor kung paano niya bibigyang buhay na may twist ang kwento na kanyang ginagawa. Right? And in making story in a film or in a theater, it should be either realism or non-realism. These are the two major dramatic attitude of a drama. Pag sinabing realism, of course, pag inintindi mo yung kwento, it is closely related to the happening in the reality. Pag sinabing non-realism, ito yung mga katang-isip lang na gawa-gawa ng mga writers or ng mga director na minsan hindi naman nangyayari sa totoong buhay. Minsan it is played or presented to the people just to give the moral lesson. And we have the four types of the drama. We have tragedy, we have comedy, melodrama, and the farce. Okay, I think you are all familiar with tragedy. For example, the story of the Titanic and Romeo and Juliet. So magsisimula ang lahat sa masaya, nagkakilala, nagkaintindihan. But the end of the story is not that happy. Hindi siya positive. Sometimes hindi ito agree sa gustong mangyari ng mga viewers or ng mga readers. Tragic yung mga magaganap na ending. Pag sinabi naman comedy, of course, if you are trying to make a story for the purpose of making other people laugh, then your type of drama is comedy. Comedy is taken from the term komos, which means festivity, lively, energetic, or laugh. That's komos or comedy. And the third one is melodrama. So kabaliktaran siya ng tragedy. Yung mga kwento na pina-follow yung type of drama na melodrama, this starts with more on tragedies. Kuba, mas nauna yung mga problema. This is common in the Philippines. And the best thing about this is that it ends with a happily ever after story. Ito yung nangyayari minsan sa mga fairy tales, mga Disney stories. They have good stories, positive. Gustong-gusto ng mga audience, gustong-gusto ng mga readers na nagbabasa ng isang kwento. And the last one is farce. Ito yung parang exaggerated type. It's still comedy pero mas exaggerated. Kumaga, minsan para mas maging katawa-tawa, yung isang tao, yung best friend niya, isang hayop or puppet na nagsasalita. Just for the purpose of making other people laugh for the sake of laughter, exaggeration type of comedy. So those are the four types of the drama. And that's the end of our lesson for today. I hope you guys have learned, at least you've learned something from it. And this is very important because this would help us all to start writing, organizing our letters, our words in a paragraph or in a sentence effectively. Sabay-sabay tayong matuto kung paano magsulat ng maayos, and we would start working on our grammar, on our compositions na mas effective, and we could be able to convey the message of our thoughts in our mind through writing. That is the implication of literary arts. I hope you guys have learned from the lesson for today, and I'll be back later for a new update and our new activity. Maraming salamat. Have a great day.